Happy Friday, everybody. I'm waiting on a few of you guys to come on and join us. But to those of you who are here with us, happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. I'm Q Jackson, the lifestyle editor of the Quintessential Gentleman magazine. And today we are interviewing RL of the group Next. Can y'all hear that? That was one of the hot songs from the golden era of R&B music. This is his song, We Can't Be Friends with Deborah Cox. It's a big hit. It's a classic. This song is never going to be old. We're just waiting on RL right now to join us so we can talk to him about this song and every other amazing song that this man has had over his, over 2 decades in the music industry. RL, I see you. Where are you? Let's see. Uh-oh.
Be friends.
That's what I'm talking about. RL, what's going on, brother?
I love her verse.
He's still singing, y'all.
It's still failing, and it don't seem fair. Rewind to just. Okay, I'm done. I can't do it like that.
But you did it, though. You did it, though, brother. How have you been, man?
Thanks for having me. I had surgery this morning, but I couldn't miss this interview. See, look, I literally got stitches in my face, but I'm like, I got to do this, man.
You know what I'm saying? Well, we wishing you a speedy recovery. We appreciate you for being here. It's been a while since I seen you. The last time I seen you, I think was before the wedding.
Probably. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been crazy, man.
But what's been going on? You've been constantly working, I see.
I can't stop, man. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? It's once you have a blessing and you're blessed to be able to do what you love, I want to get to heaven one day and God look at me and go, you use what I gave you. I see you. You squeezed every ounce out of that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just been grinding and trying to, learn more patience with my daughter, starting over, having a baby at 40 and now she's 3. It's been crazy. So, yeah.
So, you know what? I was going to say that for later, but, since you brought it up, how does it feel, man? You have a 24-year-old, right?
24, yeah.
24-year-old son, and now you have a 3-year-old daughter. How is that?
It's great, man. It's different because I think that God gave me a girl later in life because I had to be a lot more patient. Boys are a little stronger mentally at first. You could be a little harder on them at first. Women end up being stronger in the long run, to be honest. But I always say my son is the reason I made it, and my daughter is the reason I keep going. So it's like, It's great, man. I can't complain. It's different. It's different. You know what I mean? Because I'm on her schedule now. You know what I'm saying? So there's times I always try to get on the first flight to come home after a show, no matter how late the show was. But I'll say, okay, I'll get home and I'll rest. Man, as soon as I lay down, she'll literally be opening my eyelids with her little fingers like, Daddy. So I got to play with dolls and teddy bears and you name it, Hatchimals, whatever it is, Daddy gonna play with you, baby. So it's been dope.
So are y'all gonna have any more?
It's funny, people ask that, and my wife is younger than me. And for me, I look at it, I'm a math guy. So I get up really early in the morning to work out. And there's mornings I don't want to get up, but a number pops in my head, and that number is 58. That's how old I'll be when my daughter graduates high school. So, for me, I think that for me, it would be irresponsible because I want to be healthy and I want to be there and I still want to be the cool dad, picking my daughter up from school. That's your dad? You know what I'm saying? I need that, you know what I'm saying? So, as of right now, I can't see it. I think that my wife is a wonderful mom. And
shout out to Lena. Hey, Lena.
She probably deserves that. But truthfully, I'm an old geezer, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm old folk now. So, even look, these is prescription, baby. Like this is like things doesn't change, you know what I'm saying?
See, we would have never known if you didn't tell us. And the thing is though, black don't crack. Cicely Tyson is 972 years old, but she still looks like she's, you know, in her 50s, 60s, something like that. So, I
Right.
mean, you know, I don't think you have too much of a problem with that.
Yeah, but I think of her having kids, and I don't want her to be telling her kids, my grandkids, oh, you should have met your granddad. He was so cool. Now I want to be there, even if it's with oxygen, a walker, wheelchair,
Yeah.
something. I still want you in my lap, bouncing my knee, playing. So those are the things I think about.
Well, that makes sense. So, you know, I commend you for thinking like that. Um, so you found that your parenting has changed, like from the 24-year-old to the 3-year-old. Like, what do you think you changed? How different do you think you've become throughout this time?
I'm more present when you're younger. You don't even,
Mm-hmm.
realize some things. You take it for granted. But to be honest, and out of respect for my son, I don't go into it too deep, but I was in and out of court just trying
Mm-hmm.
to see him. So truthfully,
Okay.
when I was able to be around him, it was probably less discipline because I was just so happy that he was with me. Like I literally was fighting to see my own child.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with my daughter, it's an everyday thing. The hardest thing is, when my son was younger, there wasn't social media like that. So
Yeah.
I wasn't, no, there was nowhere to post him all the time. So with my daughter, we post her all the time because it's little moments. We're right there. It's just instant.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had to, or I've always tried to really show my son his importance in my life. But he's grown now. He don't want to be taking pictures. He don't even want to be on his dad's page. He doing his thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So, but it's hard for me. I get defensive when people are like, "You guys should have another one. Rory needs a brother or sister." And I'm thinking, he's old enough to be her dad, but she does have a brother. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So listen, don't try to X out, my young king just because the princess is here. So
Oh, I like that. The young king and the princess. So, I mean, how does it feel knowing that you are a proud black father of, you know, two amazing black prince and princess, kings and queens?
it's pressure because my daughter can sense moods and attitudes. If I
Mm,
raise my voice just being excited, she's thinking it's an attitude, like, Daddy, calm down. And it's like, oh, wow. I have to realize there's little eyes on me and she's really impressionable.
yeah.
And fear. Because, you look at the state of the world right now, being where I'm from, you're fearful because, of course, the one thing that my son doesn't have to me that's good and bad is street sense per se. Because
Mm-hmm.
growing up in the hood, my job was to make sure he didn't have to grow up in the hood. So he didn't, but that means he don't have that street sense per se. So he can be in situations that he's oblivious to. His
Mm-hmm.
safety could be, you know, right there. He could be in harm's way and him not even realize it because he didn't have to grow up in that environment. So it's a double-edged sword. It's good and
Mm-hmm.
bad. But I know that now that he's grown, I can't call him and say, be home at this time or
Yeah.
don't go here. So it's like there's a fear as well.
So, with that, there are two things that I do want to discuss. So, you're from Minneapolis, so we'll get into that in a
Uh-huh.
moment. But raising a black man, how is that? What are those conversations like between you guys?
Um, it's funny because it's a conversation. Because usually, it's not like a teaching moment per se. It's
Mm-hmm.
examples. Like to be honest, my son, and this is gonna sound crazy, but when he turned 18, I took him to Blazing Saddle, right? And he really
Okay.
wasn't old enough to get in, but I was trying to give him a little bit of understanding of no matter what environment you're in, you have to be yourself. So I take
Yeah.
him, and he's getting all these dances,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, this costs me, right? But I'm chilling, I'm letting him do his thing, and I wanted him to see I'm in a kind of a hood spot, but I'm still dad. And I'm more
Yeah.
concerned with him. I'm drinking water. I'm going, this is how I am, even if you're not here. I need you to
Mm-hmm.
understand, watch your surroundings. You can have fun. We're smiling and laughing, but look at how I'm acting. Look how much respect I'm giving these women. Even though they might not have clothes on per se, they are
Yeah.
still queens. Look how I'm treating them. Look at this. Watch your hands. Don't do this. So there's all types of lessons that he can learn from just being around me because I don't want to be the preacher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then he can tune that out. Because truthfully, what I have learned about kids is they're more absorbent of information coming from everybody else but you.
Oh yeah.
Uncles, aunts, cousins.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get it. I was like that too. It didn't reach me what my parents had said until I got out into the world, till I started paying bills. And then I went back and like, damn, you know what you said to me 15 years ago? It just hit me right now. So I definitely understand. So with your son being a black man in today's society and you being from Minneapolis,
Mm-hmm.
how was that when you guys heard about the whole George Floyd thing? I heard that you went back to Minneapolis, talked to the police chief. How was that experience?
Well, I'm proud of my city because I feel like, and I've said this before, we figuratively lit the match that sparked this whole evolution that's going on right now, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, but I'm not a young bull anymore. I can't
Mm-hmm.
just run around and do the things that I would have done. Like I thought about, the hood came out. Are they looting? I mean, anybody got some watches? What they got out there? You know, I got family on the ground. But then I
Uh-huh.
started realizing neighborhoods were being lost. And
Mm-hmm.
truthfully, there were white supremacists coming out there trying to kill black people, and they were starting a lot of those fires that they were blaming us for.
Oh
So
yeah.
there was a lot of fear, and I want to make sure my family was safe. My best friend, him and his church family are right in the community. So I'm calling, like, what can I do? First, people are like, well, you're not here, but I don't want to be there when you're tearing it down. But I do want to come around and try to help you build it back up better
Mm-hmm.
and stronger. So, yeah, I went and met with the police chief, and what we discussed was police reform and why it's the way it is. And I have views on why a lot of these, I can't say a lot, some of these police officers act and react the way they do. Because this wasn't the first time. This was the third or fourth incident in Minnesota. I went back under the radar for one of the other incidents. Nobody even knew. I'm not big on trying to publicize things because truthfully, this is about the people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I agree. But I mean, if you can use that platform to, bring a voice to those who can't talk, or, allow people to see what we need to do as a people, then, I definitely commend you on that. So have you
Thank you.
ever had, any bad run-ins with police officers in your years?
Oh, most definitely. There's been times that police want to let me know they don't care who I am. They'll go.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when me and Randy used to be pretty cool when he first got drafted. We hung around each other, and I felt really bad for Randy Moss because a lot of the things that were happening to him, they were just picking on him because he just wanted to ball. Like
Mm-hmm.
people would just try to get in his way just because. And that would happen to me, pull me over, and then I'd ask one of my police friends later on, and to ask the cop why did they really pull me over. And I remember he said, "What was he doing in that nice car in that neighborhood?" And truthfully, I was back visiting family. You know what I'm saying? I lived in the
Mm-hmm.
suburbs by then, but mama was still at grandmama house. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this. I asked the police chief, I said, and he's a black guy, great guy from the community. I said, show me one kid that isn't from a law enforcement family that wants to grow up to be a police officer right now in our community. You won't be able to find one because their uncles, cousins, dads, brothers have been victimized. So they don't have a healthy fear. What I mean by a healthy fear is they don't have a healthy respect, which is borderline fear
Mm-hmm.
of authority. They look at it like you're just using your authority to pick on me. So
Mm-hmm.
now what we have to do is have to grow a new generation of people from the community that want to police the community. Because you bring these people in that aren't from the community, don't identify with it, have no empathy or sympathy for the people in it, and expect them to view us as equals. They don't. They don't know anything about us. And a lot of it isn't necessarily racism, it's ignorance. So they do look at us as animals. Whereas when I told Chief Arredondo, I said, twice a month, these cops that aren't from the neighborhoods, pay them off duty to go to a community center, to be a coaching assistant, so they can be in the community. That way, when they see Tyrone drunk on the corner and the cop's about to tase him or shoot him because he's wilding, the other cop go, oh, that's just Tyrone. That's Cynthia's husband. He barked, but he don't bite. I'm not gonna cuff him. I'm gonna put him in the back of the squad car. I'm gonna take him home. Cynthia gonna kill him anyway. So I got him. There's certain things when you have an understanding of your community on how to deal with it with less force. You know what I mean? Because these cats be scared. They be the cats that was getting picked on in school. Now they got a badge. And guess what? Now you're supposed to bow down to them. So I think that there's ways. I think that there are a lot of police officers that, abuse their authority. But I think that if they feel a part of the community, then they will become that. Because I remember there was a time when I was maybe 12 or 13, I pulled a gun out on this kid. It wasn't a real gun, but I was gonna rob him. I used to do like crazy stuff, right? And my brother's girlfriend called the police. No, she didn't. The police came. Dude called the police. But I went in the crib and threw the fake strap under the radiator. And the cops came. I was like, I ain't got nothing. Man, she snitched on me, bro. So they put me in the car. All of a sudden, the cop asked me my name. I tell him. He's like, oh, you're Bob's son. I'm like, Bob? He's like, yeah, I bowled with your dad or something like that. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, well, I know you're going to get your whipped, so I'm going to just take you home. It was a white cop.
Right.
Took me home instead and told my dad what happened. My dad, I would have rather went to jail. But it was that moment that was the turning point for me, because truthfully, once you're in the system, no matter how young, they try to keep you in the system. Yeah. So I would have never been here being blessed with an interview with you to be able to talk about any of this had this police officer just said, I'm going to do it by the book. I'm going to throw this dude under the jail. I was just a dumb kid. And I think that those moments can really shape you. If it's a negative moment, you hate cops. If it's a moment where they show grace, maybe you show grace. It's that simple.
So you guys are still in Atlanta, correct?
Yes, sir.
So do you feel the need to have the conversation, with Keisha or, the police that are here in Atlanta?
I think that a lot of the artists from here have a bigger reach. Mm-hmm. So it's like that. It's not necessarily fair. Do I want to be out in the community? Yeah, but I also know that this isn't 97. I'm going to just keep it 100. I'm not where I was, so my voice isn't as loud. Do I still do things, donate, and help the way I can? Of course. But I stay out of the way for the people with the larger voices that can make the bigger impact. Or will I be in the back? Do you need me to drive somebody somewhere? Do you need me to cash app? Whatever you need me to do. If you need me to show up, I do that too. But truthfully, I think the biggest thing now is voting, is getting people to vote. You know what I'm saying?
Vote, people, vote, vote, vote. We have, 90 something odd days until that date comes. Guys, make sure you are out here voting, register, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to vote this year. Life or death, for real. So 97, that's around the time that you guys came out, right?
Yes, it is.
So 23 years at this point, how does it feel? You've been in the industry, in front of the scenes, behind the scenes. Your voice is still being streamed on all of these platforms. How is that? Like, what's the secret?
Just making fun music, finding subjects that stick, and really being passionate about your craft. It was funny because I had done a unsung live at the crib for TV One, and I had all these stories. I didn't even realize it. I realized afterwards, wait a minute, I'm an OG. And I say that with pride, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing, man, you know what I'm saying, to know that, music has become timeless and has become classic. I do feel like in this day of social media, I have to be careful because I'm a dinosaur in the aspect of I have to learn to navigate and say something because I get comfortable. And since I can get comfortable, I just feel like I'm speaking to my folks. Okay, I can say something and people can take sound bites and manipulate things. Yeah. So I'm trying to learn to be less guarded and be more open and just enjoy it. Because at this point in my life, I can honestly not do another show, not write another record, and live off the residuals as a blessing. And I don't say that as a flex, it's a blessing. So I could be like, who cares what people think? But truthfully, I'm Rory's dad now. That's the point. I'm Rory and Charles's dad. You know what I mean? I'm Lena's husband. I'm not even RL no more per se. I've superseded that with things that are much bigger than me. So I just try to watch those things. But 23 years, I look back and I didn't enjoy most of those years. I was too busy working. I was focused on the next thing, writing the next record. And now I try to enjoy it. I really do.
So you just released a new single, You Are. Tell us about that.
Well, I've always tried to write, certain type of songs that were just stuck on albums because the public and the labels wanted, the club joints, the sensual, sexual type records. After my daughter was born, I made a conscious effort to try to get out something that represented her as well as my wife, a song that showed maturity and growth, even though I've had records, uplifting women before. I know that, you look at all the old videos from a lot of us artists back in the day, And a lot of those women looked the same, and they would blame us, not knowing. We would come to a city, come to a set, they'd have a booklet of Polaroids. You'd go, okay, I'll take that one. Most of the time, all these women looked kind of similar, and it was on a casting agency. You chose like that. Well, for the visuals for my video, I purposely wanted to have different kinds of beauty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about, well, this season of my life, I'm all about grace, uplifting, understanding. I don't want to be a hater, man. I just want to see everybody flourish. I always tell people my favorite saying is, I wish you well, I just wish me better. I want to see everybody
Yeah.
doing good. Not as good as me, but I want to see them doing good. You know what I'm
You
saying?
need to get that on the shirt.
So yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it, man.
So if you don't mind, I'll play like a quick minute or so of the song so that the people
Okay.
can hear it. And guys, the song is available everywhere, so make sure you get it. But
I
right now,
appreciate it,
this
man.
is You Are. Can y'all hear? You've been going through something, and you're having doubts in yourself. You gotta hold on now. You're so strong now. I promise you'll make it through. Just hold on now. Has anybody told you you're so amazing? You're so beautiful. Has anybody told you you're so intelligent? You're magnificent. 'Cause baby, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. Baby, you know. 'Cause baby, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. Baby, you know.
You've been
You've been
looking
crazy,
crazy.
taking care of them, baby. You ain't got much time for
Time for
yourself.
yourself.
You feel like a lady. Just pull your back in a ponytail. So I'm listening to the song. I listened to it some days back. I listened to it prior to this, and I'm listening to it now. Now, this song, you wrote the song, correct?
Uh-huh.
This song sounds like it was written directly from here. Like, put me in that mind space that you were in when these words were put on that paper.
Well, I had dealt with a
Were
lot.
you just crying?
Oh
Did,
no,
did the
no,
song make you cry? I
nah,
thought you was wiping a
not,
little
not
tear.
not this time. It does when my daughter sings it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even know what I was gonna come with first because I'm known for a certain sound. You know what I'm saying? Like up tempos, the sexual, sensual stuff, which I have, which is
Mm-hmm.
coming on the project that's dropping in a couple of weeks. But with this, my daughter literally walks around the house because baby, you are, you are. And what happened was when my daughter was born, I feel like when babies are born, they look like aliens, all of them. They're like little old people,
Yes.
right? Right? And a guy made a whole post with a voiceover with a picture of me holding my newborn baby saying that it wasn't my baby, it was the milkman's baby. I needed to go to Maury. It was a trick baby. A bunch of craziness, right? And it really like disturbed me because I'm always like, you can say whatever you want about me, but my lady, my mama, my baby, my sister, like there's certain, things you don't do. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna uplift them. If nobody else does, I will. So that was the whole idea about writing You Are. You know what I'm
See?
saying? And because I see so many women with so much doubt because of the stereotypical kind of beauty that we see on social media and all that. And I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted everybody to understand that everybody's beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
See, and I appreciate that. I know all the amazing, beautiful black women out here appreciate that, guys. If you have not heard the song prior to today, make sure you play it for your mama, your girlfriend, your sister,
Right.
whoever is in your family, in your life that you need to uplift, because this is an amazing song.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
all the songs that you've had over the years,
Uh huh.
you've performed a lot, you've been in many concerts. You've done collaborations. What is your favorite song to perform?
Ooh, there's two things I like. It's either the interlude to Butter Love because it's supposed to be like this interlude. This makes it a surprise for when Butter Love comes on. But my group member, he gets so hyped every show that he goes, "We're gonna take you back to '97, y'all," and he gives it away. And I literally every show, my heart breaks every show because I'm like, this is supposed to be like the moment that everybody's like, what's about to come on? And then they hear a little bit and he messes it up. Like, not some shows, every show. I love you, T. Lopez, every show. But I love performing anything, the record I wrote for Jaheim, because
Okay.
I perform it the way I wrote it, which is a little different. I love the way Jai did it. That's my brother. But we kind of, me and B Flat, my production partner, we pared the music down and I get to really sing it like I wrote it. And it's super fun.
Okay. Okay. So, what is your favorite collaboration that you've had over the years?
It's hard because you go Deborah Cox, Tupac, we've worked with Pun. Um, I'm waiting for this upcoming one for my album. I got a record that I'm supposed to be doing with Coco, so I've been waiting for her to turn in these files, but then COVID hit. So truthfully, there's different reasons for everything I've done. I mean, the Best Man joint was really the starting point for me to
That's
realize that
it.
I could do things outside of the group, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's different reasons for each one. Each one is special to me.
Yeah. Now, for me, I've been a fan for a while. I've been listening to the music for a while, and I was gonna actually say that Best Man song is like that's one of my favorites. I mean, the one with Deborah Cox is good. I love that one too. But the Best Man one, it's inspiring. It's uplifting because a lot of us men we
What is it? What
don't.
is it? What is it? Is it I'm dealing with right now? You flip my whole life upside down. I don't want your help. I don't need your sympathy. What can a brother do for me? He can help you up when you are down. It's funny because I'll tell you something behind that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we've never performed it live together, which is like a travesty to me because everybody's so dope. Little old me, I get to do this record with Genuine, Tyrese, and Case. Like it was like
Yeah.
amazing, but um, it was so many different iterations of what the group was supposed to be because I was on tour. I was just coming off tour. Like the day I landed from tour, I had to go in the studio. There was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Well, the backstory is me and Terry, who's like aunts to us, being from where I'm from, and they decided to
Mm.
sign somebody else and not us. So now I'm in the studio. Not only I'm the only person that's from a group in this pairing, but I'm in front of these guys that didn't want me. That's how I felt. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I'm in front of Jimmy and Terry. They never wanted me. That's how I felt. So I'm like, I'm gonna show out. So all that talking in the beginning and the ending, the brother, all that, I made that up, dude, because I was going so hard, doing too much, because I wanted them to go, see,
We missed out on something.
right. So
Yeah.
I was really trying a little bit too hard, but it was my moment to where I realized, like, dang, okay, I can really do this. There's two moments in my career that made me feel like I could sing, and that
Mm.
was the second one. So it was dope.
Okay. So look, all these years you started out in the group Next. That's where we became familiar with you. You had your, bout with solo success. You guys did the Unsung. Y'all came back together. For the real music lovers out here, over this whole journey, like what have you learned about yourself in the group, and what have you learned about yourself as RL the man?
I've learned that it's bigger than me, even within the group. It's funny because I got checked last weekend, and I can say I'm grown. I got checked
Mm.
by Slim from 112. 112 is one of my favorite groups, and I'll say this because it's funny because people feel like in this time of not having grace, the reason I have empathy for people like Kanye and these different people is because I remember when I would act up, there were OGs that would hit me and be like, "No, young blood, let me steer you on the right path." They
Mm.
didn't just cancel you. It was like, "No, let me show you was wrong, but let me show you something." Um, he did that. I love the whole group 112, and I always said that I hoped a lot of groups would learn from our mistakes.
Mm.
Us breaking up, there's too much money out there. It's bigger than us. We got
That's true.
families, you got kids, you got some of these people got grandkids, so you have to think of these things. So when they broke up, it hurt my heart. And there was a name that somebody called them because it's those two with some new members. And I mentioned that name in an interview, which I'll never say again because I wasn't thinking of it the way he is. He's about his brand, which he should be. He's a wonderful businessman. But he hit me up and said, call me, bro. And I respect him. I know him by his government name. So he hit me and explained to me his perspective. And before he could even finish his sentence, I was like, I apologize. It'll never happen again. You're right. And I think that learning to humble myself and understand when I'm wrong, even if it's from somebody else's perspective, I think that's the biggest thing of learning in this game. Having empathy, humbling yourself, understanding that it's bigger than you. You know what I mean? So, and as far as being a man, patience. I mean, because going back to the group, there were a lot of things said that weren't true. That unsung, there were a lot of things said. There are times that people will say things in public and apologize in private. And I think we all learned that it's bigger than us. And people can come in from both sides that benefit from us being apart. And we have to worry about the nucleus because I love my group members. I wouldn't, I hate when people say lead singer because that minimizes their impact, which I never say because I'm not the lead singer. But I've learned I have to build others up because, the whole time the industry, label people building me up, it was my job to remind my group members, y'all right here with me. We're together, equal. I mean, even though we were splitting it equal, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn that to be like, you know what? I have to uplift other people, other groups, even rival groups. There's cats in different groups that I do not rock with, but I love them and I want to see them succeed. Again, I wish them well, but I wish me what? Better. It's that simple. It's easy. It's easy.
Yes, absolutely. So you've learned patience. You've learned to humble yourself. And now you're working on your new project. We've already heard that you told us about a song that you're working on with Coco. What else can we expect from this new project, and when is it coming out?
Well, those records are for the album The Procession, which will probably come out at the end of the year. I'm not even focused on that. I literally have an Afro Beats album that I wrote and produced with my partner. But besides that, we have the Next by Nature project, which will probably be the final next project, but it's with Naughty by Nature. We're doing like an EP. We got the first single. We're getting ready to shoot the video. I got to find out when. But what I'm really focused on is the Letter J, which is my EP, 4 free songs. We shoot the video for each song, and I'm dropping that. I'm hoping, if my partner's watching, he's mixing it right now, hopefully August 15th. But it's called The Letter J because I sampled 2 Jodeci records, a John B record, and a Janet Jackson record.
So that's what that J, the significance of the J, but okay.
And I'm Just RL. My social media is Just RL. So
J, J, and J.
Yeah.
So now we can't skip over this Next by Nature project. How did that come about?
Well, we were discovered by, we were discovered by Low Key. I got to give Lance and Prop T their props. Those are big bro. They were signed to Jim and Terry, and they would sneak us out to the studio. But those demos got us in front of KG from Naughty by Nature. We had John A, Jaheim. That's why I was able to write all those records for Jaheim. And Big Bro hit me. And we had done a whole new Next album. It was called Next Rated because our debut album was called Rated Next. This was called Next Rated. But Tweet, let us know that he had a different energy. He's into his meditation and he's speaking things that he does. So he was like, he really wasn't on that page. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's just figure something else out. I started working on T-Lo, my group member's solo album, mine. And I got a call from KG and he was like, listen, I want to do this. And I was like, yes, sir. Because without him, there wouldn't be, me, you know what I'm saying? So I humbled myself and was like, whatever you want to do. And he allowed me and my partner, B Flat, to write and produce most of the projects. So it's been super fun.
So how many songs can we expect?
At first it was like 3 or 4, but then he'll catch me in the studio playing something and he'll go, send me that. Tretch wants to get on that. And I'm like, yes, sir. Like there's a certain level of respect you should always have for people that came before you, whether they put you on or not. But he just happens to be somebody that, put me on. And I hear, these horror stories from other artists where somebody took their publishing or they signed a bad deal. I'm blessed because K didn't do that to us. He could have. Because if you asking me, I would have signed my life away at the time to get out of my mama's house at 18, 19 years old to live my dream, even if it was for a year. And here we are 23 years later, and I'm still able to do it because of people like him. So when he hit me and said he wanted to do this project, we got the logo and everything done. I'm sure Uncle Vin gonna have merchandise. It's gonna be super fun. It's gonna be super fun.
So when can we expect that one?
Well, the single in a few weeks. I know we would have shot the video by now if it wasn't for COVID. Now we're trying to figure out a way to shoot the video with it. Without being corny or without copying somebody else's way of shooting a video that they've done during these times. So we're just really working those kinks out. The single's ready. It's mixed, mastered. The first single is called We Like. I'm really excited about it. It's that roller skating, barbecue, anthem type music that, we're known for. So I'm happy about it.
Okay. So you talked about COVID and how for a lot of us it changed, the direction of a lot of our lives. So how has COVID and quarantine and social distancing affect you and the family?
I didn't have to lie anymore. I don't go anywhere. I've learned that because I get places, I get super comfortable. I say what's on my mind, and then people again will take it and use it against you. So that's why I tell people I'm in my barbershop in my crib because I was at a barbershop. We was having a conversation. I grew up in a hair salon, and the way I learned it was what says in the salon or the shop doesn't leave there. Well, things left there and it got twisted. I literally went home, bought me a real chair and all the equipment. It was like, no more. I don't really go places. I grew up on an itinerary since I was 19. So I like that. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I ended up buying a gym. I have a Peloton bike. I ride twice a day. My studio's here. I know how to engineer myself. So I've been a hermit anyway. So now I don't have to lie. People invite you places. I don't have to act like, oh man, I'm busy. Or my old lady, she like going to her little events and stuff like that. Now I ain't gotta go.
Right.
We went to Candy's birthday thing with masks on. We just pulled up because Candy's been so supportive. We just popped up for like 5 minutes. It was safe. It was in a parking lot. Everybody came in the window. Roy was sleeping in a car seat. They looking in. Oh, so there's certain things that we'll do because there's certain people that really uplift us, like Candy and Todd and Toya and Red. Her fiance. There's certain people that really do lift us up, and we want to do the same. We want to reciprocate it. So. Besides that, though, my butt be in the crib.
So, how has your creative process been? Have you found that it's been better, or like you need to get out of the house and get a little air sometime?
Well, my wife has a boutique business that's really lucrative, but she's also an executive. So her work doesn't stop, and she works for a major airline, and so she's working all day. The only struggle is my daughter, she wants to come down to the studio and get on her little keyboard. And now I have an idea, or it used to be like parts of the house were mine and parts were, Lena's. But then here comes Rory. She's taken apart like the old boutique became Rory's playroom. So now my studio lounge has become the boutique, kind of like the sweatshop, you know what I'm saying? And, just navigating through space. So my space has gotten tighter, but I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I'd be in my gym, in my studio, and that's it. So besides that, the pitter patter of little feet and things like that, I can deal with it. The only thing that I do hope that Lena realizes is the creative process is a lot different than the corporate. I know she knows that from the fashion side, but in a sense of if I have an idea, I can't pause for a minute and turn off the microwave or answer the door because once I'm in it and it's an idea, I have to finish it. So besides that, everything's been cool, man.
Okay. So in closing, you've been in the industry 4 years. You're not showing no signs of stopping. You keep going. You got 3 more projects that are coming out the rest of this year. What advice would you give to that aspiring entrepreneur, aspiring creative, or just that person that's looking to be inspired on, keeping up with the world and continuing to strive for better?
I tell everybody this, and it's funny because they're taken aback when I say my advice is to shut up. And what I mean by that is, now watch, let me tell you, I could be in a room with the Uber delivery man, some new artist, roadie, anybody, and sit there and be quiet and be a sponge and learn so much. like you lose when you think you know it all. Like I'm
Mm,
around new artists, new producers, these people, and they're looking to me for knowledge sometimes, but they don't realize I'm looking to them for something new as well. We can learn something from each other. And a lot of times I've seen there was a girl where I'm from, she had a hit record in the hood. I'm talking about she was big in the hood, but
mm,
she was only big in the hood because she didn't realize there's so much more. There's a whole world out there, a
mm,
whole world. And I never wanted to be that person. I never wanted to be, oh, I know everything. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn more and more. I want to get better, but I'm greedy. I want it all. I want to know more. So if you're
mm.
whatever you're aspiring to do, you can learn from anybody. You can even learn from people that failed. Learn from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You can learn from your haters. Learn not to be like them. Show them grace. Show them a little understanding. You know, still get your money, but there's a
Mm.
lot of things you can learn from just by being quiet and observing.
Okay. See, I like that. I appreciate that. RL, I appreciate that. We appreciate you. We appreciate good music. We
Thank you.
appreciate everything that you have accomplished. We support you in everything that you will accomplish. Brother, I wish you well, but I
I
wish you
wish me
better.
better. Let me tell you something. 23 years in, you know, I used to be like, an interview, I got to do this. Or I feel so blessed in there talking to you, man. You have no idea. This brightens my day because I feel like I'm getting my flowers. You know what I'm saying? And for you to want to take time out of your day to talk to little old me, man, it means a lot. You know what I mean? I know my family's probably still watching this right now, and any anybody that's viewing this, I want y'all to understand that, you know, people like you that give us a platform to continue to talk about things that we're doing and things that we've accomplished is a blessing, man. So to be honest with you, man, I appreciate you so much, bro.
Man, I appreciate you too. I appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate people like you giving us a shot and a reason
Thank you.
because, this is not the first time, so I appreciate it though. And I wish you much success in everything. And when Corona is over, I'm sure I see y'all out somewhere.
You already know, man. You have a good one, man.
All right, you too. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in to everything RL has going on. Follow him at just RL, and we will catch you tonight, 7:30. We have another amazing interview.